and welcome to Surplus Only. At this time of the year it is pretty cold, so what I've done is bought some cold weather kit. So last week we looked at the muckluck, which is an overboot for very cold Arctic conditions, British Army OD green, and I briefly touched on these here. Now these are liners, and I do pair these up. I put these inside the mucklucks. Now you're not going to walk in these with your boots on. These are tent booties, so if you do have to nip out in the middle of the night for a quick wee, you're not going to get the soles of them wet. However, it doesn't come up very high, the Gore-Tex, so you will get this section wet. Not worth it, which is why I team them up with these here, the mucklucks. If you haven't seen the muckluck video, it is on the channel. All you have to do is look at it. Right, the price of these are a lot more expensive now than I remember getting these for in the beginning. If you want a pair of these, they're about 50 quid. The mucklucks would be more expensive, but these are only about 20 quid. So if I team these up, I've got about 70 quid's worth of cold weather footwear. Now, obviously, I didn't pay them prices. I'm only telling you what I found them online for. Quilted, which reminds me of the Pattern 90 sleeping bag. If you have one of them, you'll know what this material looks like. The insulation isn't amazingly thick. Now, when I first put these on, the Arctic Tent Booties, was quite surprised it didn't warm my feet immediately. So what I do is get a steel Nalgene bottle, and then I pour some hot water in steel Nalgene and pop it in this about 10 minutes before you're ready to retire for the evening into your sleeping bag. So 5 minutes in one, and then take your bottle out, put it in the other. Always keep these down the bottom of your sleeping bag. That's what I do anyway. Then when I'm ready to put these on, they're already nice and warm. They've been warmed up artificially with that Nalgene of hot water. Then I've got nice warm feet. If I want to nip out in the night, I do have the mucklucks, so I can put these inside the mucklucks. Now I have double the insulation, and boy, I can have really warm feet. So why do I use this kind of system? Sometimes in winter I don't use the bivy bag and sleeping bag option. I have a carp fishing suit, which is beautifully warm and waterproof. I team them up with the mucklucks and the Arctic Tent Booties. Also, we've already seen these on the channel. These are the training socks, which are the ECW's extreme cold weather socks. A nice three-piece system there. So I thought this would have been the most expensive part, really, the actual muckluck, but for 20 quid they're readily available. However, the Arctic Tent Booty might be a rare bit of kit, so get shopping around. Every time I do one of these videos, wherever these are for sale, they sell out. They sell out really, really quickly. Silverman's is always going to be a good option as well, so you can put that into your search engine and bookmark it as a favourite, and just keep going back to Silverman's and you'll have a pair eventually. But search the internet, always let me know how much you paid for them. I didn't pay anything like that, but I'm glad I got them when I did. And like I said, I don't always use a sleeping bag and a bivvy. I just kind of have that fishing suit, and that is my footwear taken care of. And we've already had a look at the headwear and my mittens as well. And I just crashed down then on a pad underneath a basher and that is another way I keep warm. Sleeping bags don't always keep me warm because I have Raynaud's disease. I'm incredibly cold sleeper, but I've never been cold in any of this kit I'm showing you. So until next time, thanks for joining me. We'll see you out there.